Hello everyone, my name is Andy Carpenter. Thank you for joining us for DFC Fight Hype with the Boss, brought to you by Supplement Warfare. November 10, Saturday night from Adelaide Oval, home of SA MMA, DFC 7. Here tonight with Mike the Turner-nator Turner, former DFC heavyweight champion, promoter Craig Icke, here to bring you this amazing undercard. Mike, what are your thoughts?
It's going to be a good one. I think we've got some exciting fights coming.
Mike, an amazing undercard we have on DFC 7. What are your thoughts on the first fight?
First fight of Sam Warren versus Thomas Tet. It's going to be a pretty exciting one. We're going to see two guys that we don't know too much about. Thomas Tet obviously has one fight, one win, but Sam Warren's making his debut. So we're going to get to sort of see what these guys have. I'm really excited because I always love to see wrestling versus judo. Sam Warren coming from a judo background, Thomas having a bit of a wrestling background. Craig, your thoughts?
Exactly, and Thomas Tet, you know, in the gym, quietly spoken, when he had his first fight, a different animal in the cage. So, and we know that Sam's training, you know, with some guns at Element and SA Judo Academy. So, yeah, again, very closely matched fight. So these guys, who knows what will happen here? I'm looking for and hoping for a very closely contested fight to get the evening started, and I think it's going to be a really good one.
And Sam has a long history in karate, so expect very unorthodox striking against a power wrestler like Thomas Tet.
I'm going to be really surprised if we wind up with a long fight. Look, it's an amateur fight, and I look for finishes in amateur fights.
Very exciting second part of the night. Hayder Kuder against Anthony Pugliese. Mike, what are your thoughts?
This is probably one of the fights I'm looking forward to the most. I look at this and I see Hayder having a good kickboxing background. He's got a solid amount of experience in MMA, and then we've got him against Anthony Pugliese, who's one of the stars of the state, one of the guys that everyone's keeping an eye on. Everyone that's trained with him speaks really highly of him, myself included. So it's going to be really interesting to see how those two forces match up against each other. Okay?
Two young, confident guys, and that's one. You know, when you get two young, confident guys, that they're going to give everything straight away. It's going to be a head-to-head battle. I don't think either of these guys are going to step into the cage and be worried. They're going to step in there and try to put everything into play. And I think both of them have enough of an all-rounded game for that to happen. I think Pugliese, very good at following a game plan, very good team around him. You know, Mark's done a great job with him with his BJJ, and of course Riker's, you know, top of the tree in terms of striking in South Australia. So then you've got Hayder coming from ATT, and we know ATT, you know, they've got a gym full of savages. So for this to be second fight of the evening, we're getting off to an amazing start. I can't wait for that fight.
I'm hyped for it.
Anthony's one of those people that he comes with an X factor. There's, you know, every now and then there's a certain someone that comes along that really has something special that turns a lot of heads. But again, with someone that swims with the sharks at ATT all the time, he's more than happy to hit that hype train head on.
I think the other thing about it is when you come from ATT, you're one of those guys that loves killing hype. They are looking to come to the home state and kill that.
Now a fight I'm looking forward to very much, which I think everyone in the audience and everyone watching live on pay-per-view are going to be very excited of. Two absolute massive heavyweights. Tyler Piao against Brando Pericic. Brando happens to be your training partner. How's he prepared for this fight, and what are your thoughts?
Brando's been working really, really hard. I mean, extra recently he's actually been working towards a Nisa Fury kickboxing fight that he had in New Zealand. Now, unfortunately lost it, but he got a lot of time in the ring and a lot of experience, and now he is so hungry to get that win back. I mean, there's something you can't really put into words or explain to someone outside the sport how it feels to get that loss. That said, Tyler and Brando have both had those lightning quick KOs, so I don't know if I really expect this fight to go that long. Craig?
I agree. It's one of those ones where the guys are going to step into the pocket. They've got big power. I know some of the guys over in Victoria or Path to Hex, you know, were sort of eyeing off this matchup themselves. But fortunately, we got this matchup, and yeah, it's definitely one to look at for the heavyweight division. There's not a whole lot of heavyweights in Australia, so for these two amateurs to be coming through and doing what they're doing and coming through and destroying people, demolishing them, you definitely don't want to blink on this fight.
I think it's time to make a statement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two things to realise about this fight. Brando's last fight, 15 seconds. Piao's last fight, 10 seconds. Don't blink. Next fight of the evening, we have a grappler against a striker, but not only just a regular grappler, an Olympian against a striker. Turner, excitement.
Man, it's going to be crazy. I always get excited whenever I see Steve Brown on a card. He's obviously coming off his first loss, so it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to that. He's used to a lot of success. He obviously made his way to the Olympics and everything. I'm sure he's had his share of failures, but now it's time to see how he reacts to that in an MMA environment. But against him is Will Karloff, who is going to be a wrecking machine. He's one of the primary training partners of someone else on the card, Anthony Puglisi, and I think everyone is expecting big things from this guy.
Well, it's funny because Steve Brown's not an easy man to match as an amateur. You know, he's a black belt in judo, he's an Olympian, as you mentioned, and so not a hell of a lot of amateur guys want to step up and fight him. But over at Rikers, we offered the fight to Will. They immediately accepted. You know, sometimes better the devil you know than the devil you don't, I suppose.
Yep.
But I mean, you know, Steve Brown currently training with Kim Johnson, the technician. So I expect his striking game to be really coming up, and so this one is one of the ones to watch. So this one could easily be feature fight of the evening if Sin versus Wally wasn't the number 1 sort of contender fight. Yeah. So this is really a great fight.
We've seen before Olympians in the UFC, Cormier, Rousey, Yoel Romero. Now we've got Olympian and DFC hoping to make a run for that title.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting.
Next fight of the evening, we have the #1 amateur ranked flyweight in Australia against one of the best flyweights in South Australia at the moment, Shantu Sin against Brad Wally. Craig, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Well, look, if you try to put 2 carbon copies together and say let's fight, let's say it's a video game, then this is the 2 guys. You've got 2 southpaws. They're used to predominantly fighting orthodox guys. You know, 2 guys that are super strong and muscular for their size. This is a fight you definitely don't want to miss.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen in this fight, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think it's one of those fights where we're not going to know what's going to happen until we reach that point in the fight where both guys are starting to establish a dominant position. You'll start to see either Brad or Shantu will take a position in the center of the octagon and start to dictate where the fight is happening, and then it will be who makes adjustments and who makes adjustments more quickly.
Yeah, I think that initial battle, that initial head-to-head battle at the start, and who's going to try to, you know, take that territory first is going to mean a big thing. And then when it comes to the wrestling game, you know, Brad's been doing a lot of work with Taylor Ford, Chris Galbraith Clark, Kyle Terry, really top level wrestlers. So, and we know Shantu Sin is also a great wrestler. So this one here, yeah, this is a really fantastic fight.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those ones where you're not going to know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but you'll know when it's happening.
Definitely worthwhile its place. It's a feature bout in an amateur.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's going to be good.